So, good evening. Hello, everybody. How are we? Today we are going to be doing issue 54. But however, before we begin, I'd just like to introduce my co-host, Horlicks.
Hello, everyone. Hope
So,
everyone's well today.
how are you this week?
Yeah, good. Not too bad. Bit stressed
Anything
at work, but
a bit stressed?
yeah, no. Apart from that, not too bad. Looking forward to Friday because I'm going to see Benidorm live for Friday night.
Is that you have to explain that? I'm thinking you're going on holiday and it's going to be live as opposed to a pre-recorded holiday.
No, Benidorm. You know, the program.
Oh, what that silly program that used to be either at BBC Two or something or ITV.
No, for ITV, I think, or whatever. Yeah, I love it. I love Benidorm. It's funny. But they're doing a live show. They're touring, so I actually got it for Christmas. Me and Carl as a present. So yeah, Friday we're going to see Benidorm live in Brighton.
Fair enough. Sounds fun. Shall we catch up on chat straight away?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you want to do it or shall I?
No, I don't mind.
Well, you're the better looking out of us. So,
Well, okay. Right. So hello, Fleetwood J. Nice to see you here. Adrian Langley, hello. Hope you're well. Roger Kendall, hello. How are you? Love Minis, hello. Hope you're well. Hope you're feeling better because last week you weren't feeling too well. Hope you're feeling better this week. Dan Simpson, hello. Dave Milne, Kevin Peachy, hello. Steve Graham, hello. Stephen Hyson, sorry, hello. Cody Bus Spotters, hello. Chris Camplin, Chris is here on time. Sol, hello, how are you? Dave Say, of course, legendary Dave Say, how are you?
the legend that is Dave Say.
Stuart Sullivan, hello, how are you? And Paul, hello.
Okie dokie. So, shall we crack on with the build?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to crack anything, but we can certainly build something.
We try not to crack it, but you never know what happens. So I'm trying a little bit of an experiment today. I have bought a wipe clean notice board from WH Smith's. It was $9.99 with any purchase in the shop, and I thought, well, as I'm buying my bus, because I have a habit of writing notes down and then chucking them on the table, and then I never see them again. But once I got it, I thought it's got a little lip on it, so if I chuck all my bits on, they probably won't fly off everywhere. And I also, just before we start the stream, I've lost it again. But I actually found that bit of the Bismarck that I lost last week. But yeah, it's gone again. So that'll turn up. Right. So now, again, big thanks to Adrian Langley, who very kindly scans the magazines in for us so that I don't have to. However, we've had a bit of advice, which we're going to look at as we go, which is something to do with stage 2. Can you remember what the advice was, Horlicks?
Yeah, basically, I think I can understand the reason behind it already, but stage 2, I believe, is placing some parts into the panel, but obviously they're only resting in there. So if you put them in and then you start moving on to stage 3 and 4, they're going to fall out anyway. So I suppose it's just to save them falling out and losing them.
Okie dokie. So let's look at that as we get there, but it looks like possibly we won't be doing it then.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't even think it's probably worth putting them in at the end of the steps.
Right.
I think it might be an idea to keep them safe until we need them another time. I don't know exactly when the issue will be when we need them, but I can just see them getting lost.
Right, okay then. So these are my part. I've actually cut too much open. I normally do one panel at a time. But you know me, I'm a bit impatient because we've not built anything in 2 weeks.
No, of course, because we had the swinging 60s women last week.
Yeah, Twiggy.
Twiggy.
Yeah. So now I like the look of these parts because I just think, well, I don't know, maybe I'm influenced by the fact I've not built anything, but shall we go through them?
Yeah.
I must admit, if you're somebody like Caldecott bus spotters who have only just come into this, I think it's brilliant because these are probably the best parts we've ever had. People may disagree, opinions may vary. Oh, sorry, I've just spotted something. Right, so it says at the top, this is the rear entrance wall and accessories. Handrails, a used ticket box, and bell press surrounds are fitted to the rear wall of the passenger compartment. The wall is then almost ready to fit to the lower deck.
Right.
So, hello, Izzy Harris. How are you? How are you, Paul? Paul is being a naughty little minx this week. I will confess I did kind of put him up to it as well, but I will talk about that a little bit later on, Paul, if my internet holds up. So, what have we got first of all, Mr. Horlicks?
Okay, so 54A. Okay, so obviously, again, we're on issue 54, so parts
Yeah,
labeled
so
A,
we're
B,
calling
C,
it A,
D.
aren't we?
Yeah, so part A is the rear entrance wall.
Now, this I really like. This is plastic. Obviously, this part's been painted up to make it look a bit like it's metal. I'll just move this light. So we've got a little bit there. Passengers must not give the starting signal. I'm going to go through the bells later on. Maybe we'll have a little bit of a mini quiz. I don't know if you can see it, but you've got the passenger numbers there to carry 64 passengers, 28 lower, 36 deck. Now I'm going to be a little bit critical. It looks like if you hold it the right way, it looks like it was written underneath and then they've stuck a sticker over the top. So it's me being a bit critical,
Hmm.
but it still looks nice. Then you've got the used ticket. So obviously the used ticket bin is going to go there. You've then got a more brown colour there. Now I think this bit is going to end up hidden because this looks like it's going to be where the conductor's little lockers go. And then I don't know if this bit is going to be hidden, but we'll see what happens. We've also got a hole there for saloon lighting switches. Again, if this is in the lockers, this is going to be for the conductor to control, and I guess that the stairs are going to come up this way. My guess, because obviously getting everything into perspective.
Hmm.
Yeah, Chris is up to his little tricks
Yeah, I
again,
was
isn't
going to
he?
say Chris is on top form today.
Yeah. So part B.
B is the right hand rail.
Okay, and this would appear to be going all over the place. So looking at it, I can't quite figure out how it's going to go. But obviously, once we get to the instructions, it'll all make sense. This is plastic. So we've got some white bits there and we've got some chrome bits. And that's probably all I can say, except it's very shiny. But I like that. I like the really clean white with the silver. So that's
Hmm.
going to look really nice. Um,
Okay, so C is the left hand rail.
Okay, and this is just silver, and this looks a hell of a lot better than the front rails that we got the other week, because I had a little bit of a, you could see that they were on a sprue and they'd been snapped off, but that's a lot better than the front rails.
Okay, D is the used tickets box.
Okay, and this is just a square piece of black plastic, so it looks like you will actually have the hole in the top. It doesn't go, obviously on the real thing it would be a space all the way down, but we might actually be able to put some little tickets in there. So maybe we could fill that to the top full of tickets. I
Yeah,
don't know,
that'd be
just
good.
chugging ideas.
Okay, so E, there should be two bell push surrounds.
Okay, and I can see that is really nice. It says press once, and there's a hole in the middle. I don't know if you can see through it. There you go. So there's definitely going to be something go in there at some point. And then they're both identical. right down to a little notch on the side, so that I don't think it'll matter which way round you put these in. Okay, and lastly,
Okay, we've got screws. So we've got AP, two lots of AP screws. There should be three in black and six in silver.
okay, so we have three black screws, and we have one, two, three, four, five, six silver. Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment or two just to find a good focus point for my camera. You know what my camera is like. So Steve Graham says that he likes the bell presses, and Chris Campling says the parts look like metal. And Paul says, now see what you mean by crack on. Paul, you can be as naughty as you like, but you just won't be up to the standard of Chris Campling. Okay, so if I go for about there, actually it's not too far off, is it, on the focus? There we go. I don't know if you can see that there. It looks like there's something underneath with the sticker on top. I don't think it's going to notice too much. It's just because you know me, I have a really close look and I try to be quite critical. Right, so shall we have a look at stage? You're already there, aren't you?
Yes, stage
Right.
one.
Okay, so I'm going to use my little container that the handrails came in, is a little temporary screw holder. Because all the screws are the same, they'll all go into the same pot in the end. So I might as well just chuck them all in. They're the same screw, just different colours. So, would you like to describe stage one for me,
Okay,
please?
yeah. So we need to position the used ticket box D, part D, against the rear entrance wall A, so that the screw holes are aligned, fixed in place with two black AP screws.
Okay. So, what I've done, obviously, I do a little dry fit while Horlicks is describing. You see there's a little rail there and two holes. If you place it on, you see there it's too low, but then gently slide up, it'll just lock into place. And oh, I suppose I should have just tested the screwdriver first, shouldn't I?
It just, to me, it's weird. It sounds like something like Harry Potter, doesn't it? The rear entrance wall. I mean, surely you wouldn't have entrance and wall in the same sentence.
Uh, I see what you mean. Right, I am going to go with the J0 part. And as per usual, I'm just going to, whoops, that's having a bit of a struggle. Make sure you obviously get this 90 degrees to the screw hole, otherwise it's going to go in all, as we say in Norfolk, on the her. I may not actually have got that in properly. Ah, I see what's happening. That screw, the hole that's cut into the plastic, would appear to be slightly smaller than the screw. That's gone in. Right. So that's in just, oh no, that's not in. That's interesting, isn't it? Right, I don't know if you can see that, but that screw is struggling to go through. So I'm going to just put the screw. I don't know if it's me. I'm starting to struggle with screws these days. Okay, that's gone in fine. I may struggle with the second one if I have the same situation. I probably should have tested them both before I did the first one. Oh, that's gone in fine. Right, so normally I would put that in just enough to bite, but because it was a little bit tight, I've had to go all the way with it. And Chris is now going to pick up on that comment, isn't it? Yes, Chris, I said go all the way. Right, so that's on really tight. And that, as the contrast, I think that just really, I like
Yeah,
that.
sets it off nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So you can't miss that bin. My customer's on my bus would, but um, hello Lucas, how are you? Um,
Hi,
so Paul
Lucas.
asking when do we screw in the rear entrance? Yeah, we seem to be having this unwritten competition tonight, don't we?
Right,
So
so this is stage two that I agree. I think we should miss out, and that is to fit the two bell push surrounds 54E into the large hole in the rear entrance wall 54A. These will be held in place when the inner skin of the wall is fitted. So this is note on the
right.
inside of the wall panel, the large holes in the bell push surrounds fit over the raised screw sockets. So you're just placing them in, and it is saying that they're going to be held in place with the inner skin, but obviously we haven't got the inner skin, so there's nothing to hold them into place.
So look, I've been having a little play. They go in quite tight. And you can see that there is a right and a wrong way. There's a little notch there. And in both instances, the notch wants to go that way because you can see a notch there. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. They go in quite firmly. Like you see, they're probably not going to fall out. And they look quite nice in place. But I think, was Adrian gave us the advice. I think what I'm going to do, actually, that doesn't want to come out now. I think I would be just a little tiny bit more comfortable. Actually, that's not coming out. That's in rather firm. But I did want to just remove that out again. Oh no, there's a predicament. Because, there we go. Right. So what I'm going to do whatever you want, guys. I've got a nice little safe tray. As you see, I've got a little parts tray. So I'm going to put those safely in there. Then they cannot possibly get lost. If you want to put those bell pressers in, I'd say go for it. But as you can see,
Yeah.
that one went in really tight. That one not so tight. And I think if I'd left that one in and put that one away, and then we don't finish this off for say another 3 or 4 weeks, I might run the risk of going, oh my God, I've lost a bit and forgetting that I've put one bit away and kept one bit in. So I would say put both in or don't put any in at all. Does that
Mm.
sound?
Yeah.
So it's going to be slightly duller for a few weeks, but we're definitely not going to lose any parts.
Well, the only other thing you do, like Steve Graham's just suggested, you could use, well, sellotape, but you could use masking tape
Yeah,
to hold them in from the other side.
yeah,
So, but yeah, just
yeah.
do whatever you feel comfortable with.
I'm going to put them in the little tray,
Mm.
and I know that they cannot possibly get lost unless obviously I accidentally throw the tray away. So Stuart Sullivan. Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. I know we normally concentrate on the build. I have finally got round to sorting out the screwdrivers that everybody won New Year. The only one I haven't sorted out is Stuart Sullivan's because I don't think you've Facebooked me the your address, so I haven't been able to send it out to you. I'm pretty sure it's Stuart Sullivan. I did find someone on Facebook that looked like it could have been you. So I sent a message saying, hi, are you Stuart Sullivan for Routemaster? But yeah, I haven't been able to send that one out. So I apologize for the unicorn. I'll be honest with you, Chris, I've not had a chance to do it. I'm really trying to crack on and get it done. So I do apologize, Chris. I am one step above useless. So right, so stage two,
Three.
stage three.
Okay, so you need to identify the fixing points on the rear entrance wall 54A for the right hand rail 54B. Position the handrail and fix in place with two silver AP screws.
Okay, so I'm going careful here. Obviously, I've done the dry fit, and it looks like that is the fixing points. But yeah, there isn't any other way I can fix it. I could perhaps fix it from no, because the instructions clearly state that you put the rail onto this side. It doesn't say come in from behind. So it's definitely that way. And now I can see why we've got silver screws. So they go in quite nicely. That will probably fall out if you shook it about, but obviously we're not going to do that. So we'll hold this carefully, as we always do. Ah, that's a much better screw hole. Much better than the last one.
I really, really, really like the fact that they've thought about the screw colours and
Yeah,
try and conceal things. So that's a really nice touch, I think.
yeah. Didn't we have some parts that were, they didn't really conceal it too well?
Hmm.
There we go. And these screws are quite nice. I've had a few problems with some of the screws where it's kind of threaded the plastic. I don't know if that's maybe where I've gone in too hard, but touch wood, so far this week it's all right. You can't really see those screws, can you?
No.
They're nice. I mean, you can see them because you know where they are, but you can see that that's the only reason you'll see them. Yeah, I like that. I really do like that. That's really starting to come together now. So, we need a new competition. I'll donate a prize for the worst double entendres. I can give you a really good double entendre. This woman goes into a cocktail bar, and she says, "Can I have a double entendre?" And the barman says, "All right, I'll give you one." Beat that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Okay. Was it as good as the joke I told you before the stream that I promised I won't say on stream?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So,
Right.
stage four.
Okay, there's a lot of text for this.
Are
Well,
you
so we
sure
need
you're
to.
okay reading it all?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a lot for
If
what
you
we're
want,
doing.
if you want, we can just look at the pictures and go by that.
No, it's all right. I better read
Okay.
it. We better be safe.
Yeah.
Okay, so identify the fixing points for the left-hand rail, 54C. There are two screw sockets next to the bell push, one to the right of the used ticket box, and along the horizontal part of the handrail, there are two small brackets which push fit into corresponding holes,
Okay.
circled in blue.
Can you just do me a favour there? And can you just move your mouse around the circled in blue bits? There you go. You can go as slow as you like, Horlicks.
There we go.
Okay, it's lovely. Thank you.
Okay, no, these are very delicate and extreme care is needed when inserting. So fit these as indicated by the dotted lines. Check that the screw holes on part 54C are aligned with the sockets on part 54A and fix in place with 3 silver AP screws.
Okie dokie. So I haven't done a dry fit yet. So it looks to me we've got four fixing points. One, two, three, four. These are the delicate parts. So I would suggest we loosely fit the delicate bits first. Now they don't look like they want to go right in. They look more like they're going to rest on the holes. I'll tell you
And
what,
you need
shall
to
I,
also turn the handrail.
yeah, I was just about to say, shall we do it the correct way round?
Just testing everyone.
Yes, yeah. Now they still don't look like they want to go right in, and I'm not going to force that because I don't know if they're meant to. They kind of, like, as you can see, they'll kind of rest on there, but they're not in there tight. The strength is going to come from the screws. So there is, we'll rest. So again, we'll rest that on there. Check that we've got it the right way around with the fixing points. I'll move that onto there, and that's popped out. So yeah, it feels like it wants to go in slightly, but I'm really not going to force it. And then this neither of these have a locating peg. Are they supposed to? No.
No, it doesn't say anything about.
So what's going to happen on mine anyway? If I push this top one in, the bottom one comes up, and then if I push the bottom one down, that's going to push the top one up. So I'm going to have no alternative but to have a slight bend on here. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to fix the top one with a single screw first. Then I'm going to go down to the bottom one. Then I'm going to do the second one on the top one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we'll do the bottom top, if that makes sense. Oh, that's gone in really nice. So, and that's in, I've probably done that much more tight than I'd want. So go just enough to bite. There's a little bit of movement there. So then I'm going to check these parts here. When I've got a new saying now, when you double check a fit, I call it doing a Horlicks, because if you watch Horlicks videos, the way he double checks things, it's brilliant. But then I haven't seen many of your builds go horribly wrong, so I wouldn't say what you're doing is a bad thing. Right. Now, this doesn't seem to have lined up naturally. So what I've got to do is just pull that. You see, I've just pulled it down a little bit.
Right.
A little bit. There you go. That's gone in fine. So now that's in just enough to bite. And there is actually a little lip there. So I'm going to assume that when this part joins with something, it's going to go around the corner a bit. Oops. Okay. So I'm happy with that. That doesn't look like it's going to snap. So I'm going to tighten these up. And just go just until like what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when it gets tighter. Tension.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of, as you're screwing it in, you can feel how stiff it is. Once it starts to, oh God, Chris Campling, just ignore what I'm about to say. Once it stiffens up, it's time to stop. There we go. So make sure these are lined up. They don't seem to have gone in like right inside the hole, but they're resting on there nicely. And as you can see, I'm not able to move those. So I'm really happy with that. So I would be happy to call that done unless you disagree, Horlicks. Have you gone quiet on us, Horlicks?
Sorry. Yeah. Muted. No. Yeah.
Uh,
That does look really good, and those
I,
rails really set that off.
they really do, don't they? I might get a bit OCD with them now because, like you see, if I put a fingerprint on there, it just totally ruins it, doesn't it? So now I've got to polish those. So I shall be there with my Mr. Sheen on a daily basis. You see the difference? You just get a little bit of grease on there. It really does make a difference. So yeah, I'm really impressed with it. I think this is just getting better and better.
Yeah. That looks really
So
good.
Stuart Sullivan's. Oh, see now, Stuart Sullivan, you're coming in third on the dirty remarks there, aren't you, with your dry fit, hey? Chris Campling can't stop it. Dave Mill, wrong way. I presume when you said wrong way, Dave, you're talking about these bits. But that's where your eyes come in. You know, I thought I had it the right way before I screwed anything in. I had a little visual check, and something wasn't right. And obviously, everybody got it before me, but I did spot it. So, so Chris can't help himself. Matthew Boreham, hello, Penny. Mike Anderson wants to meet me. Okay, so yeah, Fleetwood J says it's impressive. And Chris Campling says polishing your pole. So, is there any comments about this? We do think this is finished now. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna pop my screws into the appropriate place. I'm really trying hard not to come out with anything that can be misconstrued, but I've got three of them at me now. So it's hard, isn't it?
What have
Hi.
you
So
done?
yeah, I like that. I would be quite happy to get onto this part of the bus. I do want to have a little look at. Yeah, Twiggy can get on this quite easily, can't she? So yeah, I'm happy with that. So I managed to acquire. You need plenty of penetrating fluid when working. You do, because I have noticed the mechanics at work. They do buy grease by the barrel, so I would assume that you do need a lot of penetrating fluid. Um, so yeah, I've been very lucky in that I have managed to acquire three of these lovely ladies. The main ones I'm probably not going to put on my main bus. So one I'm going to have a go at painting up. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with the third one. Maybe someone on the Routemasters group would want one. Now, I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, but it's kind of relevant to a post that was made on Facebook, and that's the colour of the interior. I kind of noticed this a little while ago, so I've not mentioned it to you, Horlicks. Um, the subject was just just put loads of viewers off and just get my face on. So the subject was the interior color, and people had mentioned about it being a yellow, whereas ours is more of a cream color. And I didn't disagree with anyone because it's not really an area that I'm an expert in. I don't know what the actual color was. I'm not unhappy with our bus until I saw this magazine, and I got the right camera there. Right, there we go. So in the magazine, it says it's got all these pictures, and you can quite clearly see now it's yellow, can't you? With this lovely red cord. I love that red cord. But you can see it is definitely yellow. Um, but they do actually, I found it, there we are. All were sprayed painted in the colour sung yellow, sung as in past tense of singing, um, as used by London Transport. So, you know, I think that's quite interesting. And part of me now is saying I want to repaint the interior of my bus. Obviously, it's not going to have an effect on my Newport bus because my Newport bus, I've got to repaint it anyway. So, what do you guys think? Are you now unhappy, or does it not really bother you? What about you, Horlick?
Yeah, personally, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I think. Well, I mean, to be fair, I haven't actually, to my hand, got any of those parts yet to
you have.
compare. But I can imagine I'm not going to be too fussed.
That's it, Dave. Dave has put should be sung yellow. Sung as in past tense of sing.
But
I
then
don't know.
I don't know. It could be difficult. I mean, it depends also because we're getting interior lighting as well, aren't we? So with
Yeah,
them switched on, it might make it look yellow.
Yeah.
depending on the
Yeah.
shade of the LED, and how much of it will you see? I mean, I
I
don't
think
know.
in reality, once we've built the bus, oh, by the way, you do know you're still on instruction screen, don't you?
Oh yeah,
I think in reality, once we've built it, for the first week or two, we're going to be switching it on and off, on and off, on and off. Probably wear the batteries down in a week. You know, it's going to be a bit of a novelty. We're going to get all our friends around. Oh, look at this, on, off, on. Off. Once about a month has passed, it's it's probably just going to sit on the shelf, and then it'll be on display 24/7. But we'll probably just switch it on as a special treat, won't we? Bit like you with your blocks bus. You know, it only seems to go on when you're streaming, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
That wasn't actually a hint, but you know, obviously when you first installed those LEDs on that, they were on and off all the time, weren't they?
Yeah,
You know, you loved it, I did this, oh, blah, blah. Now it just goes on when you're on camera. So I think in reality, that's probably the way the buses are going to go. You know,
yeah,
when it's a new toy, on, off, on, off, on, off, wear the batteries down, replace the batteries on, off. But after a while, it'll just sit there, and I won't say it will become boring. It will just the novelty won't be there as much as something else. So why was the Lego bus seat yellow? To be honest with you, I really don't know. Maybe they've picked a color based on bricks they've already got rather than having to make new bricks for it. I don't know. Um, right, Matthew, I am not doing the Bismarck because it's it's a shame because it's an absolutely lovely build, and I've now seen issue 2, and issue 2 looks fantastic.
yes, yes. I saw that. It does look amazing.
Yeah, I mean, World of Wayne, and don't you think he's taken his videos up a level? You
Yeah.
know, he was a good YouTuber and part worker, but now he's just found a way of taking it up a level, and I think he becomes better than he
Oh,
was.
oh yeah. I was going to say you're crackling.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I mean, I shall be watching his Bismarck build every single week. I really do like that. But there is absolutely no personal connection for me. When there's so many great builds out there, I've got to go for the ones that are closer to me. The bus, I'm doing the bus because I'm a bus driver. I'm doing the Millennium Falcon because I love Star Wars. I'm doing the Harley because I'm a biker. Although I haven't got a bike at the moment. Mind you, biking is frame of mind more than anything, isn't it?
I know I'm a
Um,
bit worried because obviously I mean I've only had my full bike license for well I've had it about 3 years now, but I've only spent about 6 7 months riding a proper bike, and I
right.
haven't got one now, so I'm really actually nervous about getting back on one if I ever
I
do.
went, I went about 8 years between passing my test and having a bike. Um,
And is
now
it like
you
they
could,
say? It's like riding a bike. You just get on it and no.
well, I'll tell you what. I passed my test on a 125, and up to that point, that was the biggest thing I'd ever ridden. And back in those days, if you took your test on a up to 125, you got restricted to 33 brake horsepower or something like that for 2 years. So I wouldn't have been able to legally ride more than the 250 for 2 years anyway. However, by the time I'd actually bought a bike, I was able to buy a bigger bike. And this bike came up. I'd been in a credit union at work. I'd been putting a little bit of money away each week, and basically what had happened. They had this bike for sale, and they said, "Oh, Penny, you deal a lot with eBay. Could you help me put it on eBay?" And I looked at it, and I said, "I think the best way to do it is to put a reserve on it, and this is your asking price." So I said, "Right. So first of all, let's sort the reserve out. What's the absolute minimum you would go?" And he said, £800. And I went, "Really?" I said, "Can you give me 24 hours? If I can come up for 800 quid, I'll have it. Can I have it?" And he went, "Yes, sure." So I went to credit union, and credit union said, "Oh, you get a loan because it's easier, the interest rates." So I got 800 quid, but it was a 700cc. And I'd never ridden anything over a 125. So everyone said to me, if you go from a 125 to 700, you will kill yourself, guarantee it. And a lot of people said that. So naturally, I was quite worried. So when I got this bike, I literally just went straight line to the end of the road and then sort of turned it around and then back. And then I took it on some A roads. There's a couple of really straight roads in Norfolk. There's a road called the Acle Straight. It goes from Acle to Yarmouth. So I did a few trips along there, and I just kind of built the confidence up. And then 2 weeks later, I took it from Norwich to Bristol. I went on a week's holiday. So yeah, I think I approached bike riding on a 700 with the attitude. People have told me I'm going to kill myself, so I'm going to do everything I can to not.
Mm.
So I don't know. I mean, would anyone disagree with what I did there? Do you think I did it wrong? I mean, when I was riding mopeds, I was typical teenager. I was riding like a nutter. And it wasn't till I got on bigger. I've always had respect for the road when I had bigger bikes, and I've always been fairly sensible. But I ride a cruiser. I'm there for the ride, not for the speed.
Yeah.
So, um, but it depends what you're into. But Luke's has had his. I presume that's a bike since '61. Anyway, I'm doing the Terminator build. Um, I did issue one last week, and I'm really, really happy with issue one. But I've subscribed, and I'm going to keep subscribing. I'm not going to bother getting it from the shops. So I'm going to be doing videos when I receive my subscription. So they told me that they posted it out last week, so I should get issues 1 and 2 literally any day now. But if I remember rightly, I don't know how they're going to do this, but when I subscribed to the Routemaster, I got issues 1 and 2 when issue 2 was out, and then I didn't get the next 4 issues until four weeks later. So I was actually 4 weeks behind on some. When this is why I ended up going to the newsagents. With the Terminator, I'm not going to put video. I'm going to do pre-recorded videos. I'm not going to do the live builds, and I'm going to put those out once I get copies and I know that I can actually put them out. So I am doing the Terminator, and I'm also planning on doing the Land Rover, which I keep ringing up every week. It's still stock is coming in. But see, Terminator was a film that came out when I was a kid. It was a big thing, so it's got more personal for me than the Bismarck. And then the Land Rover was the first vehicle I actually ever drove. So, oh, Honda Melody, I had one of those. Right, going back now, say 10 years. My bike of choice is a Honda Shadow. Honda Shadow 7 VT 700 US import, 1983. The insurance cost me 90 quid on that. And then I got an old B Reg Honda Melody, and I rang up, and I had to get them to repeat the quote 3 times because they said £17 fully comp for the year. And this is 10 years ago. 17 pounds for fully comp insurance on a Honda Melody. And I loved that bike. If you ride a Honda Shadow and then you ride a Honda Melody, it feels like a toy because it's just so light. So
Yeah. My
right,
first
so
bike was the Honda CBF or whatever it is. Yeah, the little 125. And then my first proper bike when I passed was a Honda Hornet 600,
yeah,
and that was lovely. But it was very it was like an open. It didn't have any like fairing or anything. It was like one of those open naked bikes, and it was a really nice bike to be honest. I mean,
yeah,
the idea was to sell it because I wanted to upgrade to a another another Honda, and yeah, my car broke, and I ended up having to use the money on fixing the car. So that's why I'm without a bike.
Would you like to see my first ever motorcycle? I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought you were going to show us anyway. That's why I did. I was
Yeah.
waiting for the screen to
This is
flip.
my this is my first ever bike, a Thomas moped.
was
I loved that bike. That
was it
was
one
my
of those
first
pedal?
bike.
Did you have to sit there and pedal it for 20 minutes
No,
to
no,
get
no.
the power up?
Electric start. It was electric start. It had no key. The only key was for the steering lock. But mine had a top box on the back, and you could buy these out of the Littlewoods catalogue for 300 quid. And my grandfather bought one, and he broke his hip, and he couldn't start the because it's kickstart, and it had like about 400 miles on the clock, and he sold it to me for £100, and it done the 400 miles. It never ever been off choke because it only ever gone down the shops on it, and I loved that bike. And I bought that. I bought it just before my 17th birthday, because I sent off for my license, but I set my license to start on my 17th birthday. So I'm sitting there with a motorbike in the shed, and I wasn't legally allowed to ride it because it was like my license didn't due to start for another year.
Hmm.
That's my first ever bike, and my second bike is a little bit better. The Dream, I think it's called. There we are. And this is apparently they're worth a lot of money now. But that is an absolutely amazing bike. And it was so comfortable. It wasn't quite as fast as my friend's 125s, but it was a damn sight more comfortable. And that's where I started to get into comfy bikes. But I wrecked that. I came off I wasn't used to the clutch on it because the Thomas moped was braked, two brakes on the handlebars, and I applied a little bit too much brake. I was sort of coming around a corner a little bit too quick, and I was actually on gravel next to the curb, and I applied a little bit too much brake. And it wasn't until I was freewheeling that I realised I hadn't actually applied the brake. I'd actually applied the clutch. So I was freewheeling on gravel, and I ended up hitting the curb and flying over a fence. And that was the day I knew I was a biker, because I always say, you know, you're a biker when you fall off. If you get straight back on again, because you know people try bikes out, don't they? And then they fall off, and then they go, "Yeah, biking's not for me," and that's fine. You've had a go,
Hmm.
um, but if you get straight back on again, yeah, you're up for it, aren't you? So I'm
This is
sensing that everybody wants to have a look at next week's build.
this is the
Oh yeah,
yeah, this is the bike that I wanted to get. I wanted a VFR, and
right,
that's what I was saving for. And they're not too expensive because they're quite old now. I like the older shape, but
yeah,
yeah, that's what I really wanted. That's why I sold my Hornet, 14.99 bargain.
bike.
But yeah, that was the bike. That's the bike I was saving for.
Very
And my
nice.
friend had one, and they sound lovely. They're very reliable. So yeah. So when I do get my bike, and you end up with one penny, we'll have to meet up and have a ride in the sunset.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll get a trailer for my bike, and then we'll have R2 on the back. Um, but you never know. We could have remote control tractor competitions.
Yeah, yeah,
I've given away something there, haven't I?
yeah.
Right. So this is the image for next week,
Mind you, I'm
and
agreeing to this, and I've not even looked at it yet, really properly. So I'm trusting you.
well, I just like the instructions. Right. So next week we add the wiring for the bell presser. So it looks like we'll be putting the bells in next week. So I won't need to keep mine in the drawer for too long. And we fit the rear entrance wall to the lower deck passenger compartment. So, looking at that, apart from some wires, do you think we'll have any other bits?
Yeah, I mean, I can see by my little light, the wires are obviously going to have the switches attached. So
Yes.
I reckon they're going to be those like little push switches that we had before,
Right.
because I can just see some black nodules there. I think where it comes through.
Black
Um,
nodules. Cue Chris Campling.
yeah, but yeah, I think yeah, but and then you can see the wire actually coming out from under the rear wheel arch there.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be fitting the. I think next week will be quite a good build. I think we'll be doing the switches, putting the wire, running the wiring down the wall, and then I reckon we'll be putting the inner skin in as
Because
well.
it's going to have to be two wires, isn't there? One for each bell.
Yeah, and then I think we're going to put the inner skin on, and then I think I'm going to go as much to say that we'll be fitting that to the actual lower deck as well.
I'm going to make a massive speculation. Right. I think we're going to be fitting that to the chassis soon. But the only place I can think of for the circuit boards is underneath that floor. So I'm going to make a really big speculation and say that next week's issue is going to have about 10 pence worth of electronics for consisting of wires, plugs, and a couple of switches. And then that is going to get hooked up the following week to a circuit board along with the soundboard. Remember the speaker we got underneath?
Yeah,
I think those two might. I'm gonna really big speculate here and say we're gonna get a circuit board for issue 56. If I am right, then remember you heard it here first. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna do some clever editing and not speculate at all. So you'll have a voiceover on this part of the video going, "Oh, we will not be getting a circuit board in 57." Anyone care to disagree and tell me what they think they're going to get?
mm,
That's got to be fit. Well, either that or we're going to strengthen. I see. I also had a thought that maybe we're going to get the outer panels and we're going to put those on before we attach it to the chassis, because otherwise, if we attach that to the chassis, we're then going to be attaching the outer walls to a flimsy part. Circuit
yeah,
board 58. Okay, I like that, Chris. So I'm thinking sidewalls to strengthen it up. That makes sense to me.
yeah,
But circuit board and battery box under the stairs. Oh yes, that makes more sense actually. Yeah, Dave, that's really good. If the battery box and the but look where the wire's hanging out. How are we going to feed that into the because obviously where the lockers are is going to be there'll be like a little locker under the stairs. So yeah, it makes sense that we'll put bits in there. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. So, right, I'd like to talk about, because this is something I do actually know what I'm talking about for a change. Bells. Does anybody know? I know Dave Sale know, and probably Dave Mill. Does anybody know the bell system? Mainly why it says press bell once, and also
um,
it says on there. I don't know if I showed you at the beginning. Passengers must not give the. So I'm trying to read that. Must not give the starting signal. So does anybody know what that is? I'll let you have a little go, Horlicks. If you, I don't. I don't. You might know.
well,
And
I don't know. I guess I assume it's a bit like a train, like where back then the conductor would ring that bell maybe twice to indicate the driver can pull away because everyone's on board. Maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe he's got a system of the way he pushes the bell to.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like a code to the
you're
driver.
pretty much spot on there. Yeah. So you've got one bell. Remember, there's a cord in the bus, and that's for passengers' use, and they can pull that cord to tell the driver they want the next stop. Now, these two bell pressers, the passengers can use them, but they're primarily for the conductor's use. Um, Basically, he'll press one. So, like, for example, if you've got a little old lady that can't reach the cord, she can say to the conductor, I want the next stop. So he'll press the bell, and he'll press it once. And that tells, because the driver can't see in the bus. When the bus is ready to set off, he'll press the bell twice. And so obviously, because the driver can't see anybody getting on, can't see people coming from the back of the bus. And yeah, now I've just Googled this morning. I thought rapid press was emergency stop, but the one that I forgot about, three presses means that the bus is full. So if the conductor goes ding, 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 it then means that the bus driver isn't going to stop at the next stop. Obviously, if somebody wants to get off, they'll press the bell once and he'll stop. But if you go ding, 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 so if anybody's standing at the bus stop with a hand out, the bus will just carry on going.
Right.
So I don't know if you all knew that. Yeah, Kevin Gresham's just said it. Yeah, ding, ding to go. Three bells means stop. Means bus full. Rapid bells emergency. And obviously, we all know the one. So yeah, so those drivers that know those signals, now you know why we get annoyed when people are going ding, 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 ding. And I have done it before. I've had a bus full of school kids going ding, 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 and I've just got right arsing. I've just hit the brakes. And I've gone, what's the emergency? And you do know it's a criminal offence to do the emergency stop when there isn't an emergency. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, drive. I'm sorry, drive. So so yeah.
Is there a way of shutting the bell off from the driver's cab on the modern buses?
No, but the new buses, they you get a little light on the dashboard that says bus stop, or sometimes it's an H in a funny little shape, and you'll usually get a bell or something in the alarm, or a tone or something. Now, modern bells, um, they will not make another tone until you've reset that, and you reset it by opening the door. I guess some buses you can switch the bell off, but switch it on and off is a bit awkward. But the modern ones, you'll hear a beep, and then every time they press it after that, you'll see it flash on the dashboard, but it won't make any noises. And
Right.
but see, the thing is that can cause problems because passengers listen for that tone, and if that tone doesn't happen, they keep pressing that bell, and you can see it flashing on the dashboard. And then because they can't hear the tone, they then walk down to the bus, and then you haven't noticed them walk down, and suddenly they're like, "I want the next drive stop," and your bells aren't working, and you're like, and now you're distracted. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But as I say to my passenger discussion I had once, people go, oh, "I can't hear the bell," and I go, "Well, I could hear it." And they go, "Yeah, but I couldn't hear it." And I go, "With all due respect, it's not you who needs to hear it, it's me, because I'm the one stopping the bus." And then, as someone rightfully pointed out, they said, "Well, if I can't hear the bell, I don't know that you know the bell has been pressed. So I don't know if you're stopping." So interesting. I think that's an interesting discussion anyway.
Hmm.
So, is there anything else you want to raise, anybody?
Um, I no, I don't. Well, I personally, I don't think I've got anything.
Okay, I am actually looking something up, but I can't. Ah, there we go. Right. So, I'll just quickly show you this. I'm not going to go too serious. Stopping. All our buses have signs saying stopping at front of bus up and lower decks. Yeah, we've generally you don't get standing upstairs, do you? By the way, do you know you're still on Magazine View, don't you, Horlicks?
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's normally you don't have standing upstairs, but most buses will say like capacity, whatever, standing up, seating downstairs, sorry, lower deck, whatever, standing, and then upstairs it'll say seating, whatever. Right, so I'm looking at this, and this has really caught my eye. This is a part work I found, but you can't get it in this country. It comes from a French company. Um, and I just really like this. It's a little bit expensive. See if
Is
I
it
can
a
find.
French company based in France?
No, it's a South African company based in France.
Right.
It's actually Hachette, and I don't. How do I know? Right, love minis. I decide when my bus is full. When they are all crammed at the front, I've decided it's full. Right, so I've been looking at this, and I don't think this is going to come out in the UK because it's a French bus. It's a Renault TN6C2. As you can see, it's a French magazine, which will raise the challenge for me. Um, but I just really like this, and it's the exact same scale as my Routemaster. Fleetwood J's looking into it as well. Brilliant. Um, there's two things stopping me. One is that there we go. So this one here, issue 59, is out of stock. So I won't buy that until I know. I don't know if that's it. If one chance only, or if they can get it back in stock. And the second one is, as it stands right now, I can't afford to do this build. I've applied for a new rotor, and I will be able to afford this. This is basically, the more issues you buy, the cheaper it works out per magazine because of the postage. But it works out, if I bought 10 issues at a time, it will work out at something like £120, which isn't massively expensive, but it works out about £15 an issue if you buy like a couple of issues.
Hmm.
So this is what I'm looking into, and I just think it looks fantastic. It just look, and I've seen a couple of build videos on it, and it looks really good. And I just think it's really worth build, and it will look really nice next to my Routemaster. And they're actually ahead of this on, as you can see, I think they're up to issue 60 something. I think is the latest issue. 61. Yeah, 61. That's the latest issue. So yeah, I'll get this finished before the Routemaster. Well, I won't, because I'll video it. But what do you think, guys?
That does look nice.
Yeah. The only thing is, you see this conductor at the back. He's a subscriber gift, so I won't be able to get hold of him. But I'll look on eBay for him.
But then you could paint this. You could paint Twiggy. Have a
Actually,
female one.
I might get away with I'll have a look at the conductor that we get on the Routemaster. If
Yeah,
I
you
bought
could always buy another issue. Mm.
yeah, see if that would work. I mean, the uniforms would be different, but yeah, we'll see what we can do. Can I read French? No, but I can read pictures. I figure I obviously I don't like to go on about different part workers too much, but we know there's part workers out there that build the bus looking purely at the pictures. And if the layout is, let me switch back to me.
I know a bit of French. I know escargot.
That's snails, isn't it?
Pardon?
That's
Es-
French snails, isn't it?
French, yeah, escargot, snails,
I
and then velo is
I
bike.
I know some real what's the word I'm looking for? 1980s French. You ready? Can
Here we
you
go.
speak English. Do you remember the old days where you can't speak their language, so you'll just speak louder in English?
Yeah.
So that's 1980s English. Can you speak English?
Well, no, to be
Uh,
fair, it happens now.
yeah, it still does, doesn't it?
I do
Yeah,
the same when we have like delivery drivers at work that don't understand English. You end up
yeah.
shouting at them in English, hoping that they're
In
going to
English, yeah,
understand you better.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, if that's Eurotrash, yeah, I remember that. If that's the format of the French magazines, to a point, you could follow. It'd take me a little bit longer, but you could follow that without the instructions, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm going. I mean, I might actually play it safe and buy just the first 5 issues and see how I get on with it. And then if there's anybody out there that speaks fluent French that could perhaps translate but I think that's actually
Actually, you wouldn't need to. You've got what phone have you got? Samsung,
yeah. Oh
because
yeah, don't we
it's
do
got
that translate
Bixby.
thing now?
It's got Bixby, and then well, my phone anyway. You load the camera up, and then if you point your phone at foreign writing, it translates it there and then on the screen. It's really clever.
Oh, Adrian Langley is right. Hello, Penny. The utilizer to Google. Right, I'm going to guess that says, "Hello, Penny. You can use Google Translate." How's that? Was that good translation, Adrian? Right. So, there's only one thing left I can think of that we might want to talk about, but we haven't discussed beforehand. That's the. Should we just call it the as yet unnamed Saturday Night Project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
Learned all my French from Derek Trotter. Right, so an update on our orrery. Um, Obviously, we're cheating and we are printing the bits off and we're having a look at it. The problem the problem I'm having is because we're buying some of the bits from Banggood or AliExpress or wherever you want to buy from. To say Monge 2, that's little small peas, isn't it? Um,
That's Petit Pois,
Sorry.
isn't it?
No, Monge 2 means eat all. It's like peas in the pod, but they're not like peas, but they're like small peas. They're like a green leaf with little lumps in it. Monge 2,
Right.
a whole lot. I think Monge 2, most of my French is kitchen French, being a chef. Um, so I know things like Monge 2. I also know a slight bit of Italian. I know al dente, which means to the tooth. But I'm very rusty in that sense. Anyway, so the problem we've got is um, we want to keep to a tight budget because we want people to follow along, but we don't want to expect people to have to spend loads of money. Um, so what we want to be able to say is, right, you need to buy this, but it's going to take 2 weeks to come. So buy it now to get it in 2 or 3 weeks. But then you still need to print bits off or do whatever in the meantime. So we're actually going to be we're looking at pushing the orrery back a couple of weeks. And that's going to become project number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. What we're going to be doing for project number 1 is I'm not going to give any details at all actually because I think it's brilliant. We only found it last night. Horlicks is printing off on a test, and
It's yeah, it's printing as we speak.
yeah,
Shall I give them because
it's
they don't know what
purely
it is.
okay. Right. It's go on then.
Hang on.
You describe it, Horlicks,
Right,
because
I'm
I
just going to give
I
you.
love it.
This is my printer feed. Just a little. And then yeah, let's have a little game. See if anyone can guess what it is.
I don't think anyone will come close, but yeah, okay. Let's have a game.
Oh God, hang on, I've lost the screen.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no, you're there. Oh my God, it's all going on. Right, okay, so
Yes, yes, James. I did used to be a chef. I used to be a pastry chef. I used to be okay.
there you go. This is a little sneak preview of what's printing as we speak.
Now, the
No,
reason I liked this was because there's no electronics involved. It's just pure 3D print. But there's a lot of cogs involved. So I thought it would be a good introduction to cogs. Um, and then also, if we say like, right, our projects are going to cost you £10 a week, if you put £10 a week in week one, you'll print this off, and then you'll have change from that £10, which you then carry over to the next week. So then, like,
mm,
if this costs, for example, £2, then when we start the orrery, you'll have £18 to start it. This is absolutely nothing to do with planets or anything like that. But there is a hell of a lot of cogs involved. Do you want me to be finding the actual project beforehand? So I'll let you talk about it. I'll let you get them going. And here you go. We said we were going to try and wind someone up, didn't we?
yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I don't mind keeping it a surprise. I mean, that is the the parts. There is another lot to come. This is the quicker print out of two. And yeah, as well, obviously Penny found this, and I really like it because of it's different, isn't it? And
I just think it's a hell of a lot for how simple it is.
this is actually used as well as you can use it as a gift. I think that's the idea of it. It's like a gift thing.
Yeah.
And the aim is you give them the sprues with all these parts on, and then it comes with a really small little instruction booklet, and then it goes in a card, and you know, yeah, I think it's really sweet. As soon as Penny showed it to me yesterday, I was like, yes, in capital letters. So,
Yeah, I mean, also, it's just also a little bit of let's buy an extra week. With the orrery, I mean, obviously, we'll go through all the parts that you'll need if you want to follow along. The parts are actually quite simple because we're going to be printing like 50 pence worth of plastic off a week.
yeah,
But then you've got brass rods. Now, the brass rods are costing us about 20, £25, is it? Um,
yeah, something like that.
I think we ordered them 2 weeks ago, and I've got some of them. Now, if I bought them from a UK mail order supplier, I'd have them in 2 or 3 days, but then you're talking about double the cost.
Mm,
And I think 50 quid for the brass rods. And then obviously we're still waiting for the bearings. Now, we ordered those 10 days ago.
yeah,
So,
some of mine haven't even been shipped yet. I have
yeah,
actually just spoken to live chat discreetly while we were during the show, and apparently one lot of mine will be dispatched on the 1st of March.
yeah.
How they
So
know
we're
that, I don't know, but that's what they think. But three of them are on their way. But obviously, yeah, it's just the time. But the thing is, you can order all these parts from UK based, eBay and things. But
yeah,
there is
yeah,
a
yeah.
dramatic price increase.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much we run the risk of the project costing £30 in week one, £20 in week two, and then nothing at all for the next 6 weeks. So the project will still be less than £10 a week, but you're spending all that money in week one.
Yeah.
So that's the problem I've got. I want to try and like my R2D2. I have gone overdrawn a couple of times on the budget, but I've gone overdrawn so little that when we apply the £10 the following week, it brings us back into the red, into the
Hmm.
positives. And that's how I want it to be. But it's just proving really, really difficult. So I think this first project is just going the second project. It's going to be if you want to follow along, then you're going to have to spend all the money right at the beginning and then not spend anything for the next few weeks. Right. So, Horlicks, what do you reckon? Shall I show them the thingiverse?
Yeah, just before we do that, then Peter's just asked me what filament I'm using. Well, this filament is that all right? Let me
Just,
change.
I'm just going to sit here and go into smug mode.
Yeah, this filament is actually what Penny recommended to me. Um, and I decided to give it a go. I need to change my screen because there we go. I decided to give it a go. I'm so over the moon with it. It's brilliant. It's by 3D Filiprint. That's the company. You can Google it; it'll come up. There's quite a few listings for it, isn't it? It's quite
If
well
anybody
known.
is interested in this, if you look at any of my R2D2 videos, if you look in the description, there are links to the three colors that I'm using. But obviously, you can look at that range and then go for a different color. But
Yeah.
that's the going to be the quickest way right now to look them up.
But obviously, because I'm running an Ultimaker 2, it uses 2.85 mm filament, so it's bigger than the standard size. Obviously, your Penny runs on 175, but they cater for everything. They're really good, really friendly people, aren't they? I mean, I say Penny recommended me. I put it in the notes. We had a little note, handwritten note on it saying thank you very much, thank you, Penny. They're really nice people there. But this is bronze gold. I don't know if it might be back to front. I don't know.
It is the right way around, but it's a little bit trouble with the focus there.
Oh, right, yeah. So this is bronze gold, just standard PLA, 2.85 mm. Because obviously I use the bigger
And
filament. Pardon?
yeah, it's cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the person where obviously cost is important. But sorry, just to speak, Horlicks, I want to make sure it just goes over to you as well.
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Right, okay, now I'm getting the hang of these camera views. But I'm quite happy to spend a little bit more money if I get good customer service. A lot of my electronic stuff now I'm getting from a company called Rapid Electronics. It is quite expensive, but the service that I'm getting, because I know very little about electronics, I can ask them a question. That question will be asked within 24 hours. I trust their answer. So I'm happy to spend a little bit more. But the thing with 3D Filiprint is that you're getting a good quality product, but you're getting very good customers, excellent customer service, but you're still getting a cheap product. So you've actually got
Yeah.
ticks boxes, you know.
Yeah. It's very cheap. For what it is. I mean, this was a kilo. This was a kilo roll, and it doesn't even fit on the back of my printer. It's so big. I've had to budge it up against the wall so that it doesn't roll off. But yeah, it's really, really good quality as well. And for the price, I mean, right, okay, so this kilo roll of my stuff, it was 20 quid. And do you know what? The color is perfect. It's a really nice material to work with. You can tell it's good quality. And not only that, like out of the blue, I mean, they're really good, aren't they? I think Penny, you can choose your samples, but when I ordered this
Yeah,
filament, there wasn't actually an option for me to choose a sample because usually Penny was saying you get to choose a sample with your
yeah,
order, but I couldn't do that. But they still sent me some, and this is
yeah,
new. There you go. It says on the front. It says new with our compliments, 3D Filiprint satin PLA. So this is a brand new material that's come out, and they've given me a sample of it to try, and I
yeah,
think that is really, really good. And it's like the orrery project. I've decided to. I don't want to give too much away because we obviously do it throughout the project, but I've used a
yeah,
different type of filament for my planets. Something I would never choose to use, but I had
yeah.
it, and I'm over the moon with it. So
Um,
it's nice to have these samples, and then you can just get a feel for different products that you might not
yeah.
necessarily buy or know about.
So
And these, normally you have to pay for samples.
Yeah.
So to get, you know,
Peter Whitlock is saying that his print is an end of 3. I use 1.752. Every time I order a roll, I order a filament, a sample. I've been using a lot of the samples up for various things, but these are the samples that I haven't used. Now, I have not paid a penny for any of these. Every time I order a roll, I order one color. So you see, I've got leaf green, apple green, I've got white, I've got fluorescence. I've got this is quite an interesting one. Light green. It kind of looks a bit turquoisey. The pink is quite nice if that floats your boat. And they sent me bubble gum once. I don't think I've got any of that left. This is some of the wood filament that they sent me for free. I didn't even ask for it, and they just said, "Oh, we're this is a new filament we do." So I did the baby Groot with this. I did the video for it.
mm,
Anyway, look, these guys, sorry, yeah, Mark Knight, we have actually built the bus. So I'll show you what we've done. I've just had a big collapse. I think that's telling me to tidy up. So this is what we've built this week. I'll put some light on it. So that's what we've built this week. We didn't put the bell presses in because they're not secured in with screws. So we've decided to leave until next week. But they do look fantastic. So I think we're sending them mad, not telling them what we're doing. So I think we're going to have to tell them what week one is going to consist of.
yeah, there's all sorts of guesses going on. A motorized
Yeah.
sundial, that's a good idea. A ball bearing clock, attaching stairs. Oh no, that's to do with the Routemaster. Um, it's not a lightsaber. Is it a traction engine?
So this is, let me switch the view to me so you can get a good look at it.
So much
So
for
this is
surprise.
what we are doing. It's a 3D printable wind up car gift card. Um, and I'll show you the video for it because I think it just looks really good. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to print off these two prints. We'll pull them off the sprues and then we'll assemble them, and then this is what you're going to end up with. And I'll turn my sound off because you won't hear it anyway.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty.
let's see if I can get that on full screen. Uh, I might have to put it onto YouTube to get it up to full screen. There we go. So you basically just wind it up and off it goes. It's going to be like 5 minutes of fun, and then we'll probably get bored of it. But I think it'll be a nice little fun project.
Yeah.
But it'll be a nice little. I think that's the bit you're printing now, isn't it, Horlicks?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
4 wheels and 2 cogs. So it'll be a little bit of a play with cogs. We'll understand how cogs work and how they go together, and then that'll save us a little bit of money. It'll get us a little bit of money for the next build, and then there we go. There he's building it. The instructions come with it. So they do look pretty good.
Yeah. So it's a case of just whacking it all together and done. We don't need any extra parts. It's just what you see.
Yeah, and it just prints off in 2 sprues. So yeah, I like the look of that, and then that'll sort of enable us to see how the stream is going. Because obviously, like with the Routemaster, we didn't know how the stream was going to go, and then obviously we built the rapport up and the format over time.
Mm.
And also, what I was thinking was, a lot of projects I do, I get the joy in building them. So I might do a little competition once we've built all these not the Routemaster obviously, but once we've built them, I might then just pick someone at random and then give it away. But I'll probably ask for contribution on the postage. Um, So yeah, I think that's just about it really. So we're looking at possibly doing that starting in couple of weeks, give or take, couple of weeks. Horlicks.
Yeah, I reckon so. Oh, sorry, my brain was ticking. I was just
No,
thinking
it's okay.
if we could do some sort of competition or some little quiz, maybe, and
Yeah.
then maybe if we have like a winner, I would maybe someone that hasn't got, well, not that I'm gonna dictate who can enter the competition by if they got a 3D printer, but we could print one of these wind up cars and send it to someone as a prize.
See, what I was thinking of is I'll build mine, and obviously you'll build yours. How is the spring made, paint with penny? Can I be honest with you, love minis? Absolutely no idea. I'll ask Horlicks next week, or I'll ask Horlicks the first week we do it. Um, yeah, what I was thinking is obviously what I'll get a lot of joy out of making it myself, but once I've made it, I'll probably take it to work and show a few people at work, and then that's it. So what I'll probably do is everyone who makes a comment on the video, or the actual comment down below, um, they will take all of the videos for that particular build. We'll chuck it all into some random number generator, and then we'll pick one person, and then that person will be asked to send to cover the postage cost, and then they can have the project, and then I'll do the orrery, and then someone can win that. Um, which brings me to something that I was just having a thought about. Um, I'm I'm not the massive fan of Patreon. I just don't like the concept of it, as in, if I build my YouTube channel up to enough viewers, I can put adverts on and I can generate money from that, and then obviously I can reinvest that money. And then Twitch is a little bit easier to make money from. Patreon is a little bit different, but I was thinking, how would you guys react to myself and Horlicks having a Patreon or whatever it's called, where people voluntarily give so much a month, be it $1 or $100 or whatever. That money is then used to invest in the Saturday night streams. So that, say, for example, if we had enough money, rather than just printing one and giving that one away, we might generate enough that we could build three or four. So we could give three or four away. Or if people donated a certain amount, they could guarantee they would get the project, or something like that. Is that something that you guys might actually be interested in? Would that take it away from other things? Would it? Would you feel that would give an unfair advantage to people that couldn't? Some people can't afford to give even say $1 a month, and so if you've got someone who pays like $20 a month, do you think that would give them an unfair advantage over the others? Um, so
Food for
I can
thought.
learn French as I build. That is actually not really a bad idea, Stuart. So I'm afraid that when I was at school, my attitude to French was there's no point me learning French. They all learn English anyway. Which, as I've got a little bit older, I have now discovered is a most inappropriate attitude. But you grow up and you mature, don't you? So I don't mind admitting that I was absolutely I was not monster, but I had such a bad attitude when I was a kid. But I think most of us did, though, didn't we? So I don't know. So yeah, the Patreon is just an idea that I've thrown. I mean, there's people out there that design really good stuff. Michael Badley, who does the R2D2 files. I'm more than happy to donate to his Patreon account because obviously I'm getting the files from him. Um, the French are a total nightmare to work with. Do they still not wash? I always thought that was a bit of a myth, but apparently it is actually true. A lot of people I know have had French students. They still have the same towels and the same positions when you first put them there.
Hmm?
Or am I stereotyping and being racist here? I don't know. But it's funny that I found certain nationalities are a certain way. Polish, I love working. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I love working with the Polish because they work so hard, and they'll work 20 hours a day, and they just put absolutely everybody to shame, and you're like, whoa, slow down, you're making me look bad. um they think they know it all. Fair enough. um so yeah, I don't know. Stuart Sullivan is petit pois. Mons tu petit pois. Pane, that's another word I know. There's no translation for pane. Well, it's about 14 sentences long. um So, is there anything you want to add, Horlicks?
No, I don't think so.
No.
What we're going to do about the third project we mentioned earlier? Are we just going to keep that one completely hush?
Let's introduce that during the second one because that gives us time to look at. I discovered it today, and it's a project that it's just really well laid out. The guy has actually he's given part numbers to all of the pieces, and then
Right.
he's got
Okay.
a set of instructions that says, right, stage one you need these parts, and stage two you need those parts. But obviously, if we announce it now, it's going to be a case of really we ought to do that as the third
Yeah.
bill.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do that when we're underway on the other one.
And obviously we want to learn more about. Obviously we've got all these lovely people who watch our Routemaster build, and I know they're not all watching for the Routemaster. Some are watching because they just like the show. um, and obviously I would expect our audience may change just a little bit on the 3D print builds, because obviously it's a different subject matter. So yeah, let's learn about what we all like. I don't want to do projects that just myself and Horlicks likes and the audience aren't interested.
Mm.
Otherwise we might as well just have a Google hangout on a Saturday night and design stuff. So anyway, I'm determined to show you my new toy. You are going to love this. And my favorite, well, how do I call it? My number one viewer, as I'm going to call her, has been on at me for something like this for ages. So I have bought myself, I don't know if you can see it in all that mess and clutter. I now own a variable power supply, and I am well chuffed with it because I was playing with it last night.
I'll paint. Love Minis has asked if the planets will have Pluto. I think. Well, no. The
No,
basic one
yes,
doesn't.
question. It's a trick question, isn't it? Pluto isn't a planet. I don't know. I can't remember now.
Actually, there was something about that. Oh, my print's finished.
Excellent. Um, Mark, I'm not building the Bismarck because it's so much to build, and I just don't have enough. Um, if I had the money, I would build it because it's a fantastic build. But obviously, I've got to go with what builds are more personal to me, and the Land Rover and the Terminator are a little bit more personal to me. So this is because Love Minis has been on at me about a good, great on the power supply. She's been on to me about not powering the Arduino from the computer, and obviously I can still power the Arduino with this. Um, Obviously I'll just have to do a different power input, but it now gives me the choice. I've actually bought some 9-volt battery terminals, so I'm pretty sure that if I cut this end off there and then hook that up so that I can connect it to the variable power supply, I can then supply a 9-volt battery supply to the Arduino.
Hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, so I was playing with this last night, and I still don't get these. I think this is something to do with the ampage or whatever. I can't remember. But you've got two buttons. You've got course supply. So this is going to put the power the voltage up and down quite quickly, whereas this is more of a fine tune. And I was playing with these side by side yesterday, and it is absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to not be, but you see, it's really because this is only one decimal place, whereas this is two. So I can actually, you see that that's 14.7, but that's 14.69. So I can get it absolutely precise. It's brilliant. But yeah, obviously it's going to open up more things when it comes to electronics.
Hmm.
Because obviously, and I'll tell you what I was playing with. It's a little bit destructive, but I was playing with LEDs, and I was connecting an LED up, and I was starting from zero, and I was moving the power up, and I was seeing how little power I could get before I get the LED to actually light, and then I was seeing how far I could take the power up until the LED actually blew. And with a white bulb, it's between about 1.5 volts minimum, and about 6 volts before it just goes really hot and just goes, no, don't want to play anymore. So, but obviously the LEDs that I'm buying are like a penny each, so I can afford to waste a few. Um, and I bought one more thing, which is these. I've got them in a tangle now. Right,
But,
right. I have bought a replacement set of these, which is the terminal leads for the multimeter, but you've got probes on the end, but then you've got another bit that screws in on the top, which then gives you crocodile clips, which I think will be a little bit more useful with having jumper wires. So I just hope they should fit. But this company has a returns policy anyway. So I just think that'll be a little bit better, using jumper leads.
hmm.
So, so yeah, that's my exciting thing. So you were going to
Martin,
say,
yeah, no, it's Martin Knight's comment. I wonder if you could rig that in someone's stair lift and have them rocketed up the stairs like in Gremlins.
naughty. But yeah, but I mean, because my knowledge of electronics isn't brilliant. There's a lot I don't know, and obviously there's things that I know that I didn't know before. But for example, if I wanted to have a little play with a DC motor, I know that with a DC motor, the more power you give it, the faster it will go. We've actually got a motor for the orrery, and I know that the only way I can test that at the moment is by putting, see if I can get this word correct, a potentiometer, which enables you to turn the power up and down.
Mm,
I don't need that now. I've got a variable power supply. So I can adjust the power by using the power supply. So, it's just making things a little bit more convenient and a little bit easier to use. And it looks nice on the worktop as well. And it's small. It's not very big. I was expecting, if I had a variable, some of the ones that I saw were like 300-400 quid, and they take up most of the desk, and they don't seem to do like 6 times more than mine does. They're probably better at what they do, but they just don't have any more functions.
mm.
So at the level I'm at the moment, a £50 power supply is absolutely perfect.
It won't
And
be long till you get one of those oscilloscope things. Oscilloscope.
yeah, I watched a video on YouTube, and they were saying about the absolute basic equipment, and they're saying that is a basic equipment. At the moment,
To me,
probably
I don't know. So confusing. I don't even know how to use it. We had one at work that I was trying to sell, and I sold it, but I plugged it in, and there was all these graphs and things going up and down, and I was like, "No, turn it off." Don't know what it was all about.
Apparently, it's the shape of it. You can tell what something is from the shape of the wibbly wobblies or whatever they are. So James is asking me where I got it from. I got it from Amazon. Um, and for some reason, it's the American Amazon. Amazon.co.uk. Sorry, I like to sing. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Because now you'll want me to sing every week, won't you?
No, but I'm
Yeah,
glad
I've
you
done
did
it.
go for a digital one in the end, because I think the other one would have been the analog one would have been a bit more hit and miss for the voltages and things.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So I have bought. Bum, bum, bum. Right. So this is what I got. It's £51.49. It was delivered the very next day, and it's got a range. Right. It does tell me what these other ones are for. Right. Out. Oh, I can't read that. Output current adjustment, output current. So yeah, I might have been fiddling with switches there that I don't get. So I have seen that change to 0.5, but um, do you know what, Mark? Charles, what has gone over a length of time instead of at a point like that? Okay. Yeah, Paul says the blips and the blobs. Mark Knight says, I reckon Amazon is the reason a lot of our high street shops are being closed down. But hey, if Amazon give us a great price deals, why can't they? Yeah, I'm in two minds. I do like to support the local shops, but what do you do when the shop can't supply the product or they can't supply the product at that price? Should I be spending £90 on something that I could get for 50 quid
Mm.
just high street store open?
And it's
Or
not that you can't just pop down your local shopping centre and buy a power supply and boots, can you? It's
oh,
a lot of
you
stuff that.
you can't get anything in Newport. All you can get in Newport is a cup of coffee, some charity clothes, and some fresh fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of the stuff from project-based stuff. I mean, I don't even think there's a shop in where I am where I can just pop down and buy a roll of filament. You have to do
No,
it all online.
no, I can get filament from Argus, which is about 40 quid. Um,
Oh, I
or I
didn't know
can,
they did that.
yeah, Argus sell it. I can get it from, I mean, 3D. Right, there is actually some filament available on Amazon, which is cheaper than 3D filler print, but it's their budgety stuff. And if someone actively advertises something as budget, it usually is budget.
Hmm.
I think 3D filler print is just cheap, inexpensive. Um, there is a shop, they don't like me. It's called Maker's Hut, and they're about 15 miles down the road in Cardiff. They, we had a bit of a row on eBay, didn't we, Horlicks?
Yes, because today I had a parcel from them.
Okay, fair enough. Um,
But the problem is they did. Oh, that was my address. No, they did. They sent me an order actually, and it was incorrect. But they were really good. I emailed them back, said, "Look, sorry, you sent me the wrong thing." They were really good about it and sent me a new one out straight away.
right. Well, with me, I'd ordered something for somebody else, and I'd made a mistake, and I asked to cancel it. They actually cancelled the wrong order, and I said, "No, no, you cancelled the wrong order." And they said something about every if you cancel an order on eBay, it actually costs them money, and were they refusing to cancel the other order or something? And I'd sent them a message, and it basically
Mm.
said, "Get it sorted out, all my feedback will reflect what's happened. Now, I didn't say I was going to give him a negative rating. I just said my feedback will relate what's happened. Next thing I know, they banned me from ordering on their site on eBay. So, which is kind of amusing-ish, possibly.
Mm.
Uh, so, yeah. So I got banned from ordering. Oh, was it the address, wasn't it? They put the wrong address on or something. I'd accidentally put the wrong address on one of them, and I asked to cancel it, and they actually cancelled the one that I'd put the correct address on.
Mm.
So, or something like that. And I said, look, can you sort it out? All my, but that's what I said. All my feedback will reflect my experience.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, on eBay, if I pay for some goods and I receive the goods, you will get a positive rating because at the end of the day, you've got what you've paid for. But in the description, I will then put in my experiences. You know, goods came a little bit damaged, but I'm quite happy with them. I got fully working parts. That's what I'd write in the feedback.
Yeah. Makes
So,
sense.
but yeah, so they banned me from ordering off their site on eBay. So, which is funny because I could walk down the shop down to the well, not walk, but I could get the bus. It would be free because our buses go to Cardiff. In fact, I might go down there one day and buy something off them and go. By the way, I've had to come down in person because you banned me from buying off eBay from you.
Yeah, you should do.
Yeah, I think that could be fun. So that wouldn't be causing trouble for the sake of causing trouble at all, would it?
No.
So Maplins have gone out of business, haven't they?
Yeah.
Uh, but the
I used to like
electronic
it
shop
there.
that I use is I see if I can get my account up. My account. Uh, orders. Sorry, I've just realised I'm not actually on screen share, am I? I don't know if these are cheap. I think they're quite expensive, but the service is quite good. Um, So this is my first order from them. Oh, I ordered some resistors. I had five packs of 100, 220 resistors. And then my second order was my heat shrink tubing. By the time you add VAT and postage, it does get quite expensive. My third order, I bought this jumper wire kit just because I could. It just looked fun. And then, this is the clips I've ordered. I asked the question, but I ordered them today. Um, so apparently, these crocodile clips will screw in on the top, and then that'll make it work like a crocodile clip rather than a probe, which I think could be quite useful. So, wondering when. Oh, James, right. Listen, right. I have bought this notice board. This is why I bought this notice board because I forget things. I write things on notes, I put them on the desk, and then I just forget. So watch me do this. So this is my brand new notice board, and tomorrow's payday, so I will get them sent off. Oh, love minis. The Warhammer comes out next week. 26 came out today. So can I just sorry, I'm kind of having personal conversations on a public stream. Did you just want 2 copies of 27, or did you want the 28 as well? It is on the board, James. So I won't lose that. And well, if I lose that in amongst all my bits and bobs on the desk, I've got a problem. So I dare you to draw a naughty picture. Just 227s, right? So love min 2 times 27. So what can I draw a naughty picture of?
Hmm.
I can't believe we were meant to be doing a Routemaster stream, and here we are doing pictures. Right, okay. So no, I can't think of anything. I'm trying to be really clever and draw something that's naughty but not actually dirty. So there's a little thing I used to do when I was a kid. It was some story. What's it goes? Something about a man with no arms. He went for a walk. He fell in a park or something, and there was two beehives, and then he went running down, and you end up with a big dog or something like that. But that enables me to show you the magnetic board rubber, which, believe it or not, there it is. So magnetic board rubber, look, and then so I'm like a child, you know that. So okay, so I cannot think of anything else to say. It's 10 to 10, and I have a ridiculously early start tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? Let me just see if this comes off the bed.
oh yes, the print.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's good.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, I came off in one go.
Excellent. That's really nice. I really like that filament.
And there's my
That
really
is really.
shiny
So
edges.
how long did that take to print?
About two and a
And
half hours.
and how much did it cost to print?
I don't know, if I'm honest, because I haven't set the filaments up in my program, so I
So do
don't know.
according to Octoprint, how many grams did you use?
Mm,
You have to do it by grams because obviously we buy that by weight, don't we?
okay, one sec. What?
I'm going to get my calculator ready because you're going to give me complicated numbers now, aren't you?
Hmm.
I think I'm going to ban permanent markers from my house because I can see me getting muddled up between a wipe dry marker and a permanent marker one day.
It doesn't say. It says it uses 2.64 meters.
Right, but we don't know how many meters is in a kilogram. Does it not
No,
say how many grams?
no.
Okay. All right. Well, that will work it out for you. But 2.6 meters.
I don't think so. There's my see,
Oh, yeah.
just says meters. It says 3 hours, but I think 2 hours
2
54.
Okay. What's the? Does it say on the box what the density of your? No, it doesn't. Okay. So. Okay. I don't know.
But no, this is very nicely made. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Well, I think what I'll do is I will load that up into. Actually, I could not do it now. I've got something else loaded up. What I'll do for you for next week, guys, is we'll find out how much filament that uses and roughly what the cost is. But do you want to have a little bit of a? Well, it's not if you can't work out how much it's cost. I've got my Octoprint has been set up so that it works out. It knows how much like 1 millimeter of filament weighs,
Mm.
because it's how much you put it in and the density and the width. And so obviously, like 100 meters is going to weigh so many grams. You've put in. So if that was 100 grams, and you know it's 20 quid per kilo. So 20 quid divided by kilo is 2 pence per gram. So 100 grams is going to be 2 quid. So 100 grams, 2 quid, which I could have done that one in my head, but for some reason I decided to use a calculator. But yeah, once you know the cost of a kilo, you however much you've weighed, it's got to be that proportion of it. So do you reckon a couple of quid is probably a fair guess on that then?
Yeah, I'd say so. And then obviously the other print is 4 hours, so I'm assuming it's going to probably, well, it's going to use double the filament, isn't it? So
It
looking at about
could, yeah,
£4.
be double the filament, or it could be just more complicated print. So we're probably looking at roughly 6 quid for that project.
Yeah.
Right. So then we've got some costs worked out for the orrery. Let's see if I can find it. So the base is going to cost £1.61. £1.61 for the base. 161, and then oh, £1.25 for the legs. Sorry, how much did we just say for the first project? 6 quid.
About £6, yeah.
So 6, 7, 8, £8. Eight. So it's £8.86 for the first 2 weeks. So that we'll have 20 quid budget. So that'll give us about 12 quid left over. So then we'll go into the second week of the orrery with 22 quid, which is nearly enough money to get the brass rods. So,
Mm.
but I think it's still going to be a case of we're going to overspend at the beginning. But as I say, we're looking at about 8 weeks for a £50 project. So obviously, what we'll try and do is it'll be a case of if you want to follow along, this is what it's going to cost, and we'll do the costs every week. So I'm conscious now of mentioning my R2D2 videos, but I like the format that I do, which is this is how much budget we had to start with. I started with zero on it on episode one. We then add £10 to that, and then we spent this much, and this is how much we've got left. And the reason I did that was Love Minis will probably laugh at me for this. Take care, James. You enjoy yourself. Um, when I started 3D printing, I just got into it so much. I literally had my printer running 24/7, and it just got so excited. I spent like 40, 50, 40, 60 quid a week on filament. Um, Now the R2, I could go out and I could buy 10 printers, and I could have them all running 24 hours a day, and I'd probably have this R2 done in a couple of months. But I think that part of it is it's keeping yourself to a budget. I've got to eat and I've got to pay bills,
Mm.
and everybody else does as well. And in fact, there might be a lot of people out there that £10 a week might be too much, but I've gone for that figure because most of us are buying at least one part work a week, which is not far off 10 quid. So, yeah. So, right. Okay. I'm going to try and wind this stream up now. We might actually have something fairly close to 2 hours for a change. Never happened so far. I think 2.5 hours is our average. So I'll just open it up. If there's anything I forgot to, um, if there's anything I forgot to cover, if anybody made any comments and I haven't responded to them, uh, or if there's anything you want to add. What are you up to apart from because you're still doing DeLorean, aren't you?
Yeah.
Obviously your R2's finished. Is there anything in the pipeline for you?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I'm waiting for. I can't do anything until the DeLorean's finished.
Right.
Realistically. So Yeah, I don't know. It's an open book at the moment.
Maybe we could make a patron for getting Horlicks and extra part work.
Yeah, no. Do you know what? It's difficult because I like the idea of the Terminator, and I
Yeah.
was really excited. But after seeing the supports that hold it up, that's put me off a bit. I'm gonna be, if I'm honest.
Say that's not brilliant, is it?
The Bismarck, beautiful, and I think it's going to be. It's different, isn't it? It's not. There's a lot of gluing involved, a lot of small
Yeah.
parts. It's not always screw, screw, screw. But again, it's the size of it. I mean, I have got a perfect place up on the top of my desk up here, because I've got my monitors here, and then I've got like a shelf with all my 3D prints and bits up there. I could put it up there, but again, it's a lot of money, and it's not really something that I'm into. So
Yeah, see that's the problem. The better build doesn't really call out to me so much.
yeah,
Uh, Terminator really does call out to me a lot more. Um, but again, I'm not saying I'm definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna give it 5 issues. Obviously, we've got some quality issues. A lot of people are complaining about the quality that's pitted metal. Some of the parts are quite good, some aren't. But I quite like the idea of polishing it up with autosol.
mm,
Um, yeah, no, Peter, I actually sent a message to World of Wayne and sorry, yeah, I sent a message to World of Wayne and I said, is it basically that motor? We just bought one on eBay for about £4. If it was a stepper motor, I don't think I can get those for that price. Maybe I can from Banggood, but if it was like a stepper motor or a really useful motor, it might have been worth me going down to WH Smith's and buying 2 or 3 copies of issue 2 just for the motor. But to be honest with you, I can get it a lot cheaper from Banggood.
mm.
I think Hachette are making money on that issue 2. It's not a I can't see them making money on issue 1. That's a loss leader, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
and it
issue,
looks by the looks of it, it's just a standard motor. There's
yeah,
nothing. It hasn't got any gears on it like ours. So
no, it just looks like a standard DC
yeah,
motor
that's
with,
it.
with a circuit board. But to be honest with you, circuit board that small, that's probably a penny at most to produce. So,
Mm.
I mean, I bought some circuit boards, and you get quite a few for not too much money. So, yeah, it's not worth it for the parts. Um, and Dan Simpson says, "Do I have any idea on how the steps get attached to the back of the bus?" I have a rough idea. I'm not always right. I'll see if I can get my. Um, Remind me next week. I will get that the seats down ready for next week, and we'll deal with that after next week's build. But there seems to be some couple of screw holes, and they just seem to lock in the right place for me. Saying that there might be some connector. So yeah, I think I can figure out how it goes in.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, so unfortunately, I won't be doing the Bismarck, which is I'm envious of World of Wayne doing it. I just think it looks absolutely brilliant, and I can see that World of Wayne is getting so much out of that. I mean, the quality of it. I like the way that it presented a bit of a challenge for me. Gluing isn't my best subject, and I looked at that and I thought, how can I make sure I don't get glue on the deck? So the challenge being, well, I've looked at how I think this deck is going to go. I think that underside is going to be hidden. So there you go. We'll glue it from the underside. And I think I've got that pretty damn near perfect.
Yeah,
Apart from that, that
yeah. When you find it, stick it on. Not that
yeah,
you're building it, but
yeah.
just
I like. there is a whole piece somewhere in my room. Um, but it is absolutely amazing. If you are into ships, um, get it. Don't even think about it. Get it. Now I looked on the German site, German Hachette site. They're obviously a lot more ahead of the Bismarck than we are, but they also do the hood, HMS hood. Now, I think those two, if you do one, you got to do the other if they're both available. And I wonder if Hachette are going to bring out the HMS hood later.
Mm.
It's got to be, isn't it? If the
Yeah.
Bismarck sells well, you have got to release the hood. I think you'll find most people who do the Bismarck will get the hood. So, and it's tempting, but yeah, it's I shall enjoy watching World of Wayne every. I know I'll enjoy that, and I really do think he's taken a brilliant video and then he's taken it up a level. The way that he describes all the part, couple of little things he went on about. I didn't know that the way that they named theirs. Where in we have like Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta, they have A for them is Anton. So one of the guns is they call their guns A, B, C, D, E, whatever in the phonetic alphabet. But because A is Anton, so the gun that he built for issue 2 is called Anton. And I found that quite interesting. I do fancy the Revel Routemaster, and I will do it. It's finding out where to slot it, because there's a couple of little things I want to do. I've got some model cars. I kind of looked into doing sort of a matchbox restoration thing, just sort of see if, buy some cheap junk off eBay, paint it up, try to sell it, see if I can turn a couple of pennies profit. But I came across some really nice cars for not too expensive, and I thought I'd really like to show them off. Um, but it's right. But yeah, the Revel Route Master, I do want to do that. But it's just I've got that much. I've got to really not got to sort myself out. I've just got the obviously the figures. I really want to get some painting done. I haven't painted for a long time, and painting is my number one thing. So maybe get some of you guys into painting as well. Titanic. Everyone goes on about the Titanic, and I've not seen anything about the Titanic. I have found a Titanic lifeboat. You right there, Horlicks?
Yeah.
Okay. So I found a Titanic lifeboat, which is quite interesting. Um, but yeah, if the Titanic does come out, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be. I'm not really so. I want to do ships, but I because it's a different skill set. But Titanic, I'm not really so sure. So, but again, like Dave say, it's affording it, isn't it?
Mm.
If we could afford all the part works, we would buy them all every week, and then we'd probably sit down on a Sunday afternoon and spend a few hours building them. And we'd all have so much fun. But unfortunately, there's these little annoying things that get in the way, like gas and electric and food and petrol
Yeah.
and and so,
General bills.
yeah, general bills.
I mean, you could, I suppose, just get one week and pop another one the next week, but I couldn't do that.
No,
I just couldn't do it because you just want to start build, don't you, and finish it.
yeah, yeah. And this is one of the advantages with. Well, I don't know. Well, what do you guys reckon? Do you like the subscriptions where you get like a pack a month, or do you like the weekly news agents? I must admit, we got our route masters quite early this month. So obviously, I've been sitting on issue 54 now for about 3 or 4 weeks, and it has been really hard to not at least have a peek.
Mm.
As I say, I don't really like spoilers. It's been really, really hard, especially after last week's, just having a figure. You kind of want to soothe it by looking at 54. And I reckon the next subscription box is due out any day now. Um, they haven't updated my online account, but they haven't terminated. And I chased it up, and it was sent last week. So maybe it takes a week or so to update it. So plastic is difficult to paint. Yeah, I mean, I paint models and I paint model aircraft, and I'm using the airbrush, which I really like using the airbrush. It's a different skill from brushes, but I yeah, it's I say I enjoy it. Your great aunt should have been on the Titanic. You're going to have to finish that story, Dave, because I'm thinking, do you not like your aunt and you wish she was, or did she buy a ticket and couldn't make it? Is that what you're saying? Sorry, Stuart Sullivan, you said they can't do that. It's illegal, Penny. You'll have to refresh my memory on the context of that one. Actually, you know, Horlicks.
No.
I can't remember what I was saying when he wrote that. The Titanic. I can't remember. Oh no, how bad is that? Oh yes. I wasn't ignoring. I don't know if Jason's still watching. Sorry, Jason was saying. Has anybody seen Jason's soundbox? You know, Jason who was
I've
on last week.
Yeah, I watched his Facebook earlier. It looks amazing.
It's brilliant. I'll get that on next week because obviously we haven't got as many people watching, and so I'll ask him. I'm also gonna have a go at his modification. Because I managed to get myself an extra copy of issues at 52 that we did the front 52, 51, something
Yeah.
anyway. So I'm actually going to have a go at that. Another little experiment. I got through about 10 LEDs yesterday. Um, I got my electric sander, and what I did is I sanded down as much of the top as I could, and I wanted to see how close I could get it to the little filament, and would it still work?
Hmm.
Oh, do you know what? I've just taken this bulb out. You know, these are all coloured bulbs, but they're all white clear glass, and I now can't remember which one I got it out of. Oh, oh well. It looks like I'm going to have to use my variable power supply.
Actually, I was going to say, where's my Oh, I don't know where it's gone. I ordered Routemasters. Hang on. Um, Based on the Routemaster, I got myself another issue 32,
Yeah.
which is the wheel arch. And
Okay.
the reason for that is because in there you get two LEDs with quite a generous amount of cable on it.
Okay.
So I can either fabricate and use the switch the connector that's already on the cable, perhaps, but that is going to be the LED for the modification.
Right.
Because then I figured by getting that, all the LEDs hopefully will be from the same source.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Because the one thing I've thought about is obviously I've got to try and get a color match on my LEDs. Otherwise, it's going to look odd, isn't it?
Mm, that's why I've got this, but obviously this wire has got two LEDs attached to it. So if you wanted me to send you one half of it, I could. Then you would have a
Oh,
matching LED.
can I just say publicly on air, you are a lovely man.
Well, there's two on there. I mean, providing I don't burn through one of them when I'm sanding it down, but I shouldn't. And the other thing is, these are quite nice because you can take quite a lot off of there,
Yeah.
these particular bulbs.
or these ones you can take over half of.
Yeah,
But again, are they the right color? So I like that idea actually. I know it's a little bit more expensive doing it that way, but it's you're gonna get the same color as there. Is that
yeah.
wheel arch? That headlight bulbs, isn't it?
Yeah, headlight bulbs I got with it.
Yeah,
And the only reason I did that was because obviously, yeah, I wanted them all to match, and I figured it would be easier to do that and spend extra money than sort of refit all the LEDs again.
yeah,
Because I know, I mean, Jason obviously spent some time doing that, but he changed all his LEDs to the same ones from the same batch, and that's a really good idea. So I thought, oh, if I order another 32, hopefully the LEDs should be the same.
yeah. And of course, like you say, we get two.
Yeah,
So
there's two
okay.
attached, so
Well,
and it's got a
obviously,
generous amount of wire on it as well.
hmm, yeah, obviously I'll cover your postage, but yeah, there's a really good idea then. What about the Terminator eyes? Trouble. Oh, yeah, but will they be the same color?
They're red, aren't they? Oh
No,
no, they're
no, they're
not.
white. They're white with a red cover.
Yeah, but again, obviously it's a different, they're going to be sourcing them from somewhere else. So I think there still will be a difference in shade.
Right. Okay. Next week, I'm going to get the whole bus on here. Right. Okay. I'm going to write this on my new thing. So, because obviously I'm getting another copy of issue one of the Terminator because obviously I've got the subscription copies. So we'll use my lovely new my new thing. I see James Hinges is disappearing there, so I might have to
Yeah,
rewrite that.
an excuse to use the dry marker.
So Wednesday issue 55
Do you feel like
comp.
Harold Haldeman?
No, because she's the one with it. Should we have a little game of that? I do love number games. Right, compare Routemaster headlights with Terminator eyes. So what I'll do is I'll set up a little jumper leads and I'll connect whatever the circuit is. I'll connect on the power source. I'll connect both the Terminator eyes and the Routemaster, and then we'll see if uh, we get color match. And
Yeah,
then I will send you an LED then because I've got two spare. Um, I can't think. I think they're a reasonable length, but I think they're over on the other. Yeah, they're a reasonable length, but they can be extended.
yeah.
It's not going to be perfect, but all you need to do is just cut the wire, put another bit of wire in, and just solder it in, and then put a bit of heat shrink on it. So Terminator eyes. The only trouble is, unless you can find a shop that can back order them, you're going to have to get them from Hachette, and you're going to pay postage unless you get less more than 25 quid's worth. So to buy one copy
Mind
is
you, I
going to cost.
suppose they're in the shop for 2 weeks, aren't they? So there's still time, I possibly, if they got
Do you
stock.
know what? I'm going to tell you to go out and buy them because it's 1.99, right? You get two LEDs. Where we didn't we saw some on Amazon and they were like a quid each.
Think so. Yeah,
So Terminator is giving you two LEDs for 2 quid. So yeah, I think yeah, you take care, Dave. Yeah, I would say pop out tomorrow and buy a couple of copies of Rootmaster of Terminator, and then use the LEDs. Bear with me one sec. I think because I'm sure I showed my neighbour the Terminator, so I think it's over by the door. So I'll be back in 2 secs.
The thing is, I could go and buy the Terminator issue, but obviously now I've bought another Routemaster issue. I don't. I think it'd be pointless because then that'd just be a waste. Unless obviously I sell that on, but we'll see. It depends, doesn't it?
Right, that's the LEDs. They come out easily. Oh, they don't come out that easily, do they?
No, they were quite hard fit, weren't they?
Let me find. I think if I get my sprue cutters, I've done this before. If you kind of grip it gently, I have to try and use tweezers. You know what? I'm going to yank. Oh, there we go. I yanked it out, and that's fine. It's not excessively long, but it's not. It's not really short. That might be long. Yeah, but if it's not long enough, we can always cut it there and then rewire it. What do you reckon, guys? Do you reckon that'd be good enough?
But obviously, the only thing I was just saying is, I mean, I could go and possibly buy the Terminator if they've got one in stock, but I've got the issue now for the Routemaster, so
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. If you've
you
already
know,
got it,
it's a bit
and you've
silly.
got longer wires, haven't you, for the
Yeah, they're much longer. They're like 3 times the length.
Oh, Sol has said you could use the light holders and C3PO head. It's a good fit. You take care, Stuart.
Good night,
So
Stuart.
Sol, are you talking about the C3PO that World of Wayne modified? Is it that half scale one? Not half scale. It's I don't know. It might be. No, it's not half scale, is it? But yeah, he modified one. He sprayed it green and then put some eyes in it and stuff. Because if that's the case, that I mean, to be honest with, well, with C3PO, you're not after a color match, are you? But I say, if you got some soldering skills, you can. Do you know what? Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, ignore me. I'll just probably just solder some up. But yeah. Do you know what, Love Minis? You've made me a really not bad person, but do you remember like not so long ago I couldn't solder for anything, could I? And now I'm just going, yeah, I'll just solder them up. So I got to do that thing with the eyes again.
Hmm.
I know it just makes me laugh as well. Right, okay, guys. So yeah, issue 41, issue 41 lights. That's which is the one you just got, Horlicks.
32.
Right. So okay, I'm gonna do more scribbling on my dry board thing now.
What's
Routemasters.
what with the what's? I don't think I've got. I'm not up to issue 41 yet.
32 and 41. Right, I'll dig out the magazines and I will compare the two. Because the problem I have is when people say issue numbers, I'm like, oh, I can't remember that issue. But if,
No.
for example, if you said the issue that we did the back wheels, I'll go, oh yeah, yeah, and I remember it then. But if you said sort of issue 17, the only issue number I can remember is 29, which is the engine.
Yeah.
But it's an obvious reason why I remember that one. I love that issue as much as I hate it. So
Yeah.
I love it because it was a difficult issue, and I went, yes, I did that. So right, I will look at both of those magazines. So I've now. I wish I hadn't bought this now because, like you see, I've nearly filled it up with homework. So yeah, you guys are horrible to me, making me do all this work. So next week I'll be getting you. Definitely get you an issue 27 of Warhammer. If I can't, if they don't, because the shop only carries one issue, and I do keep saying to them, can you order an extra one in? If they can't get it in, I'll get one from another shop. I will get you two. We are next week. We're going to be comparing the the Routemaster headlights with the Terminator eyes, but and I'll also have a look at issue 32 and 41. Um, but 32 is the headlights, isn't it?
Yeah, or it actually might be. No, I'll tell you what it is. I think one is the headlight and one is the fog light
Right.
because they're on the same side, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that higher light, the one that we don't have, I don't think that's as bright as the headlight anyway, is it?
No, that's what. Yeah, that's what. I
So
think
I'm
the,
thinking maybe the fog lamp would be a better one to use because I don't. Will the fog lamp be as bright?
it depends where it's wired in, but as someone said earlier, sorry, I'm used to. I can't remember who said it, but someone said use a resistor. Oh, there we go, Peter. Perhaps use a resistor as side lights. Um, because obviously
Right.
the side lights are dimmer than the headlights, so you could put like maybe 100k resistor in line, and then that'll make it dimmer. But until we
Yeah.
get the circuitry, so it
Yeah.
might be a case that we put the resistor on as an afterthought rather than put it the headlight end.
Yeah. I mean, they could be separate plugs, and they've got a resistor in there, and one stronger resistor than the other.
Yeah,
The only concern I've got is if we mix and match cool white and warm white, it's going to look really odd. You've got to use all warm white or cool white.
yeah. And again, that's why I ordered another issue of the classic Routemasters actual because all the LEDs should be the same. So, dimming it isn't a problem.
No,
Because I've got hundreds of resistors down here.
about 1,000 because I'm buying them 100 at a time. I've just got
Yeah,
a pack today of hundreds, but um, yeah, do you know, Colica, I have been watching your videos. If anybody doesn't watch, if anyone likes buses, have because obviously because of rules that we have with the company, um, I don't know what I can mention and what I can't. So I tend to steer clear from mentioning my company name and and what I've done and stuff. But Caldecott Bus Spotters, being a member of the public, can film anything that's in the public. So um, I would recommend watching his channel. But a lot obviously Caldecott Bus Spotters has become known to the drivers. So you'll see a lot of the videos will be bus so and so going through Caldecott and thanks to the driver for the wave. So oh Stuart, you've just quit your job. Stuart, come to Newport and become a bus driver. This is what I say to everybody. Come to Newport and be a bus driver. It's brilliant. I actually love the job. You know I love the job, don't you? But I don't think I'd have been doing it for 17 years if I didn't. So
no,
I don't. I think it's just because I'm crazy, and people respond well to it. And yeah, they all think I'm nuts, but sorry, that's me. Um, but Stuart, you aren't you qualified to do much better things than bus driving? So issue 41 fit in the cab. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look. Right, guys. So yeah, 2.5 hours we've done tonight. So challenged. I'm gonna write it on the dry board. Do a stream less than 2 hours. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the way I am. I like to use the word happy. Some people use the word crazy. You be the judge. Uh, I don't know how to get from Caldecott to Newport. Um, Right, I'm going to make some inquiries. I don't know if I know we run a staff bus, but I don't know if we run it that far. So I will ask some questions for you. But I mean, if you are serious, we train drivers and we put them through training school. We get them their license. If we train, I mean, I came to Newport with a license, so this doesn't apply to me. But if they train you, and a lot of big companies do this anyway, they'll put you through training school, they'll get your license. You then sign a bond to say that you will stay with the company for 2 years. And if you leave within 2 years, you have to pay money back for your training. But what they normally do, I think what they do at Newport is they take like £10 off you a week. And if you leave, then obviously they've got some training costs covered. But after a year or 2 years or however long, they actually give you all of that money back. So you get up in the morning and you look at your bank account, you're like, I've got like £1,300 deposited in my account today. And that's where they've given you your training bond back. But I'll make some inquiries for you then, if you want. Love you, he film. Titanic. Right, so guys, I'm gonna have to go because I've got. Let me just check my diary. I know I've got an earlier start tomorrow than today, and today was anything that starts with a '06 is, yeah, 10 past 6. I'm in tomorrow, so I really should shoot. And exciting news! None of you could share this. We do a lottery bonus ball at work. I've started the bonus ball, and we did it the first week. The prize was 40 quid, and one of the drivers won it. Second week, it's a rollover. So I'm hoping to win it next week. It'll be about £100 prize, I hope. So, ta-da!
All
So,
right, for some. Yeah, good
well,
luck.
I've got to win it first, haven't I?
Oh yeah, but
Trouble is, all I'm doing at the moment is lining someone's pockets with £1 of my money every week.
and then that £100 probably go on another part work.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
that'll be another 5 rolls of filament. You know it.
Yeah,
So.
definitely.
Right, okay, guys.
Yeah,
So I am definitely going now. As I
yeah,
say, I've got to go. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I always appreciate it, and I will let Horlicks close the show.
yeah. See you later, everyone. Hope everyone has a good rest of the week, has a good weekend, and see you next Wednesday.
Okay, take care,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.